Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins from San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I'm actually at KWD. I think I'll just spin this around real quick so that you can see we're getting ready to have a class here in just a moment. And the number one excuse that I hear as a coach is I hear people say, but I just didn't have time. Well, I would get in good shape, but I just don't have time. Well, I would take better care of myself, but I just don't have time. I would have a better marriage, I just don't have time. I would like to spend more quality with my children, but I just don't have time. Well, I would do better in my business, I just don't have time. It's the number one excuse that we hear in coaching, and it's one of the opportunities we have to help people see life differently. So bringing a set of lenses out, here's what I would love for you to do. In coaching, you have to sign a contract that if I hear you say, I didn't have time, I get to throat punch you. It only hurts for a minute, it bruises for about a week, and then you get up and it's all good. So here's what we have to say in coaching. We do not get to say, I didn't have time. Here's what we say. You see, when we say, I don't have time or I didn't have time, we're excusing our brain from being creative and thinking about ways that we can make something happen. I don't have time is the number one way to dismiss the creative part of your mind from thinking about how to actually accomplish something because you've already thrown in the white towel. Think about this and how it would change your mentality if you spoke this. When someone said, hey, you want to get in good shape, why haven't you gone to the gym? It wasn't a priority. You said you wanted a better marriage, why aren't you going on date night? It wasn't a priority. You said you wanted to spend more time with your kids, what happened? It wasn't a priority. You said you were going to do better in your business, why didn't you do your lead generation or your lead follow-up? It wasn't a priority. Do you see, we use the language of responsibility and extreme ownership in coaching. So when we take it wasn't a priority, we eliminate I don't have time. You can see that this is no longer a part of the conversation when you have extreme ownership. You have the time. It occurred to me about 11 years ago that if I was going to be in great condition, the only way it would work with 7 children and running a couple of businesses is if I got to the gym at 5 a.m., I could be home by 6 a.m. So what did I have to do? I chose to wake up earlier, and it was very hard at first. It takes a little while to create a habit, and yet we created that additional space in the morning. So by being at the gym at 5, home by 6, I get to spend time with my family, get to have breakfast with everybody, drive the kids to school, and everything changes. So I don't have time is the number one excuse, and you create the space for yourself based on your priorities. So it's no longer an issue. Now that you've seen this, you're going to be held accountable because your brain will remind you. Every time you say, I don't have time, you're going to have to flip the switch and say, actually, it's not that I didn't have time. I made a value call and I made a judgment call that it just wasn't a priority. So I pray today that you'll consider this. Does your audio match your video? Is what you are saying is important to you? Is it being acted out in real life? Or are you simply just using this imaginary idea of what your priorities really are? If we were to look at your schedule, would it show the priority of your marriage? Would it show the priority of your children? Would it show the priority of your business? Would they even be in there? It's hard to say. But now you know you can never say, I didn't have time. You must accept extreme ownership and change it to, it wasn't a priority. I hope you guys have a great day. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it.